Me. For 15 years, he worked in silence. The piano tuner. 42 years old. Autistic. Nonverbal. He'd never spoken a word. Not one. People walked past him. Every night. In the concert hall. That weird quiet guy. The janitor. Invisible. But when the world's greatest pianist collapsed on stage, when an $18 million concert was about to be canceled, Marcus Wei walked to the piano, sat down, and played Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto No. 3, the hardest piece in classical music, from memory, perfectly, because the man they ignored, he'd been a child prodigy, accepted to Juilliard at age 7, but autism took that dream away. Until one night, when the silence became music. This is his story. Part 1. The Invisible Man. October 2024, Carnegie Hall, New York City. Every evening, at 11 p.m., Marcus Wei arrived for work. 42 years old, Chinese-American, short black hair, wire-rimmed glasses, navy blue maintenance uniform, and a cleaning cart that squeaked on the marble floors. Marcus never spoke, never made eye contact, never acknowledged anyone. Severe autism, diagnosed at age 3, nonverbal. His entire life, the other maintenance workers knew him, sort of. Marcus is, special. He doesn't talk, just does his job. Weird guy, but harmless. They'd stopped trying to interact years ago. But Marcus had a routine, precise. 11 p.m., arrive. 11:05 p.m., clean lobby. 11:30 p.m., clean balconies. 12:15 a.m., clean main hall. 1 a.m., clean the stage. And at 1:15 a.m., every single night, when everyone else had gone home, Marcus would do something else. He'd walk to the Steinway Grand Piano, Model D, 9 feet long, the most expensive piano in Carnegie Hall, worth $175,000. And he'd sit down on the bench and touch the keys, not playing, just touching, feeling the ivory, the weight, the life in each key. Then he'd open his toolkit, tuning fork, felt hammers, tension wrench, and he'd tune, not because it needed tuning. The professional tuner came every week, but because Marcus heard things that others didn't. Note A, 0.3 Hz flat, middle C, harmonic resonance, off by 2%, E above high C, felt hammer, worn on the left side. Marcus would adjust, microscopic changes that no one else would ever notice, but he noticed, because his ears were perfect. And then, at 1:45 a.m., Marcus would play, softly, so no one would hear, Beethoven, Chopin, Rachmaninoff, Mozart. For 30 minutes, every night. Marcus wasn't a janitor, he was a pianist, but no one knew. Part 2, the concert October 15, 2024, 8 p.m., Carnegie Hall was packed, 2,804 seats, all sold out. Tickets, $500 to $2,000 each. Tonight's event, Vladimir Petrov, Russian piano virtuoso, 48 years old, winner of the Tchaikovsky competition, 3 Grammy Awards, considered the greatest living pianist, and tonight he was performing Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto No. 3, the hardest piano piece ever written. 720 measures, 40 minutes, requires athleticism of a gymnast, memory of a supercomputer, and emotion of a poet. Most pianists never attempt it. Those who do rarely succeed. The audience waited, dressed in tuxedos and gowns, celebrities, diplomats, billionaires, and in the back, in the maintenance corridor, Marcus mopped the floor. He could hear everything, the orchestra, tuning, the murmur of the crowd, the tension in the air. His hands gripped the mop, but his mind was on the piano. 8:15 p.m., the lights dimmed. The conductor, Gustav Ehrlich, walked onto stage. Applause. Then Vladimir Petrov, tall, gray hair, confident stride. More applause. He sat at the Steinway, the same piano Marcus tuned every night, adjusted the bench, raised his hands, and began the first movement, fast, aggressive, Petrov's fingers flying across the keys. Marcus stopped mopping, stood in the corridor, listening, his eyes closed, his fingers moving, silently playing along, every note from memory, because he'd heard this piece 1,000 times, had played it 1,000 times, alone, in the dark. The second movement, slower, romantic, lyrical, Petrov leaning into the piano, sweat on his forehead. This piece was brutal, physically exhausting. And then, 8:47 p.m., Petrov's right hand, on a massive chord, fortissimo, crashing down, snap, his ring finger, Pretian, Dowdystrife, Fracharov, screamed, grabbed his hand, fell off the bench. The orchestra stopped. The audience gasped. Chaos. Petrov, on the floor, holding his hand. My finger, my finger. Paramedics rushed on stage, examined his hand, fractured, possibly broken. He needs immediate medical attention. Gustav, the conductor, looked at the audience. 804 people, stunned, silent. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid we must cancel. The audience erupted. What? We paid $2,000. This is unacceptable. Backstage, chaos. The venue director, on the phone. We're looking at $18 million in refunds, lawsuits. This is a disaster. And in the corridor, Marcus heard everything. He put down his mop toward the stage. Part 3, the moment security tried to stop him. Hey, maintenance, you can't. But Marcus didn't stop. He walked past them, onto the stage. 804 people stared at the janitor in the blue uniform, walking to the piano. Gustav looked at him. Sir, you need to. Marcus sat down on the bench, adjusted it exactly 2 notches forward, just like he did every night. His hands hovered over the keys. The audience, confused. Who is that? Is he maintenance? What's happening? Gustav leaned down. Sir, do you play? Marcus didn't answer. He never answered, but his hands touched the keys, and he began. Movement 2. Exactly where Petrov had stopped. The exact note, the exact tempo, his fingers gliding. The orchestra stared. Gustav, frozen. Then, slowly, Gustav raised his baton. The orchestra joined, and Marcus played. Part 4, the performance. Rachmaninoff Concerto No. 3, second movement plays softly in background. For 18 minutes, Marcus Wei became someone else. His body swayed, his fingers danced, his face, for the first time, alive. Not the autistic janitor, not the invisible man, the musician. The audience, silent, completely silent, watching this impossible thing. A janitor playing the hardest piece in the world, from memory, without sheet music, without rehearsal, perfectly. The third movement, presto, fast, impossibly fast. Marcus's hands blurred, notes cascading, the piano singing. People started crying, not from sadness, from beauty, from witnessing the impossible. Backstage, security pulled up. Marcus's file. Marcus Wei, age 42, maintenance staff, 15 years, autism, nonverbal. Someone else Googled his name and found an old article, 1989, New York Times, child prodigy, Marcus Wei, age 7, youngest ever acceptance to Juilliard School. A photo, young Marcus, at a piano, with his parents, smiling. Another article, prodigy, Marcus Wei, withdraws from Juilliard, family cites, health concerns. The truth, slowly emerging. 35 years ago, Marcus had been a genius, until autism took it away. Or so everyone thought. 8:52 p.m., the final chord, Marcus's hands crashing down, every key, full orchestra, fortissimo, and then silence. Marcus lifted his hands, placed them in his lap, and stared at the keys. For 3 seconds, no one moved. Then, applause. Not polite applause, thunder. 804 people on their feet, screaming, crying, bravo, bravo, bravo. Marcus stood, turned, saw the audience, all standing for him. And for the first time in his entire life, Marcus smiled. He bowed once, then walked off stage, back to his cleaning cart. Part 5, the truth. The next morning, New York Times, front page, mystery janitor saves Carnegie Hall concert. Who is Marcus Wei? The article went viral, 50 million views, 100 million. Reporters found Marcus's parents, James and Lee Wei, living in Queens. The interview, heartbreaking. Reporter, why did Marcus leave Juilliard? Lee Wei, crying.
He was diagnosed with severe autism. Age 7, the same year he was accepted. The doctor said he'd never be able to perform. The pressure, the social demands, it would destroy him. James Wei, we thought we were protecting him. We pulled him out, found him a quiet job where he'd be safe. Reporter, but he kept playing? Lie Wei, we didn't know. We took away the piano when he was 8. We thought it was hurting him, making him obsessed. She broke down. We were wrong. We took away the one thing that made him alive. Part 6, The Invitation. 1 week later, Carnegie Hall invited Marcus to perform a full concert, solo. His parents came to his apartment, knocked. Marcus opened the door. Marcus, his mother said, "We're so sorry for everything. We thought we were helping, but we stole your life." Marcus stared at her, silent, as always, but then he did something. He reached out and hugged her. His first hug in 30 years. Epilogue. The concert, November 15, 2024. Marcus Wei's first solo concert. Carnegie Hall, sold out in 4 minutes. He walked onto stage in a tuxedo, not a maintenance uniform, sat at the piano, his piano, the one he'd tuned for 15 years, and he played Rachmaninoff, Chopin, Beethoven, Mozart for 2 hours, and at the end, he stood, walked to the microphone. The audience held their breath. Marcus opened his mouth and spoke his first words in 42 years. "Thank you for listening." Silence. Then, explosion of applause, because Marcus Wei taught the world a lesson. Silence doesn't mean emptiness. Autism doesn't mean broken. And being invisible doesn't mean you're not extraordinary. The janitor who became a legend. The silent man who spoke through music. This is the story of Marcus Wei, the pianist the world almost lost.